Before we get into today's video, I just need to remind everyone I am not a financial advisor. You must of course do your own due diligence. Please take today's video as entertainment only. Yeah.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
Something that happens by chance, I think not. What's the crack, everyone? Welcome back to Buy Wholesale. I hope you are all well. Just want to comment on yesterday's video. Yesterday's video is probably my most hated video that I've done. I didn't expect that to be the case. I thought I was being, quite honest with everybody, just to tell everyone that following the huge rise that we got on Coastal Minerals, over 140%, I decided to take profits, took the money out because I just anticipated a dip, which has been the case so far. A lot of people hating me for that, and I get that, it's a long hold, but the channel is called Buy Wholesale. It's about buying, holding and selling. So I just felt I was being honest by telling people that I did sell, but my intention is to completely move back into it, and I have no problem with that. It's just, guys, the way the markets are, and things pull back. I've seen it so many times that I'm just starting to play it a bit more shrewd. And trust me, guys, if anyone thinks that my 400 or 500 quid that was in Coastal Minerals is going to make a big difference, me pulling that money out, well, you have another thing coming, because it really, really won't. The general market's been pulling back, and Coastal Minerals is going to be no different. So far, it's pulled back about 40%. So, yeah, I've safeguarded myself about 40% profits. I don't know, each to their own, guys, but it's just crazy how much hate I've been getting for that. Like, it's just quite funny, I find. But yeah, look, I'll keep bringing the information to you. I don't want to do a channel where it's just all about pumping these bloody stocks up. There's not great news sometimes, and you have to report on that. I think that's the only fairest way I can do it, and then you can make your own conclusions on that. And that brings me to today's stock, Active Energy Group. I've covered this stock several times on this channel. It's one of my first picks. I'm really excited about it because of the link to PACIFICORP. PACIFICORP is Warren Buffett. It was one of the first stocks, one of my best videos that I've done on the channel in terms of numbers, and it's exciting, the whole Warren Buffett connection. It really is. The product, coal switch, being able to convert old coal generators into renewable energy in terms of the wood pellets and all this old forestry stuff. It just really sounds exciting. I don't think it's a product that is going to be about in 30 years time, but it sort of has a niche in the space right now where we're in that period of transition into completely renewable. There's all these old factories, there's old coal plants that have only been constructed in the last decade that have got plenty of room left to still generate energy, and to be able to convert coal and fossil fuels and use old forestry is, I see the space there. That definitely is a big possibility of making great profits, and this company going a lot higher than where it currently is. However, just like everything good, in the last video I was talking about Q2 being big, and it is still hopeful, fingers crossed, that it will be big. However, we've got some news here. I just feel like it's worth bringing everyone's attention. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about the charts and stuff. I haven't done that before in a good while, so I just feel like all this good news, it can't continue forever. It would be fake for me just to be going, oh, pump. There is bad news. I do think there's some positives still within this stock. We're going to recap it all. But before we get into all that, can I just ask everyone, please, to like, subscribe, share the channel, all that good stuff. It really helps me out, guys, and I really do appreciate it. Also, you can get me on Instagram, BHSDMV, and while I'm on the topic of my Instagram, a couple of days ago I put up about this being the end of the tax year. Yesterday, 17th, was the last day of the tax year. 75% of the historic data shows us that after tax day, the stocks go on a bit of a rally. Now, there's been an incredible sell-off in the stocks, big tech, NASDAQ stuff in particular, and it would be interesting today to see at the start of the day after tax day what's going to happen to the stock. So there's things like that I put up on my Instagram, so it's important to follow me if you want to sort of stay up to date with just daily thought processes and stuff. I'm going to be very glued in to see what way the stocks react. Today, I'm expecting a green day, fingers crossed, but more importantly, a green week. If that doesn't happen, then Christ almighty, guys, the fun won't end, and we're probably going to head even more to Cape Town. Anyway, guys, enough of that good stuff. Let's get into today's video. Guys, my last video was done on April 7th. I'll share the link here for you for anyone to go and click on that. So I talked about the webinar and all those good things. I'm just going to do a bit of a recap on some of the news that came out since then. So this came out the day after. Renewable energy and forestry management firm AAG confirms that it just correctly filed all patents and patent applications in the US and Canada over the last 2 years. This announcement comes amid the open letter from Ron Dickerson, chair of RMD Environmentals, including regarding the status of Active Energy Coal Switch License Agreement signed in November 2019. Back then, British Columbia-based forestry management firm RMD has acquired from Active Energy the exclusive rights for the sale and commercial development of opportunities to which the coal switch technology may be applied in the Crown provinces Alberta and British Columbia in Canada. For the next 20 years, Active Energy has received RMD license fee of around 1.8 million and subsequent royalty payments of $5 per ton on all licensed products that are produced by RMD for the duration of the license agreement. So that's a bit of an update on that. I mean, that's a good sign, guys. I have no problems with that, so it's just to bring that to your attention. So this is just a bit of an update as well. Chair James Leahy on Thursday buys 1 million shares at 0.8675 pence each. He now holds an interest in 5 million shares, representing a 0.1 stake in the company. So that's a good buy. It was up 7.2% on the back of that news. He's obviously injected a wee bit of money in there. I love to see chair people that are involved in the company buying more shares. It just shows you that they're willing to put their money where their mouth is effectively. So that's good. This is more the news that I really wanted to talk about in this video. Active Energy, Renewable Energy, Forestry Management strongly refutes allegations by the non-profit environmental group Southern Environmental Law Centre. It alleges that Active Energy is discharging wastewater without the required permits. Touched on this in the other videos, guys, about the waste stuff. This was maybe going to be on the radar of an issue. So now it's kind of gone a wee bit more legal. SELC knows the allegations contained in the US federal court legislation are false, given that in addition to seeking to have the US federal court action dismissed, AEG intends to seek sanctions against SELC for having failed to conduct a reasonable inquiry as to the acts and or law prior to filing the suit. So that was on the 4th of May, and on the 7th of May, about 10 days ago, Active Energy says it has installed additional control devices to help boost emissions reductions at the Lumberton coal switch plant. The additions were notified by the company to the NCDEQ, who acknowledged the additions as improvements of the plant's construction. However, any modifications require an amendment to the company's existing air quality permit. The company's representative in North Carolina have already submitted the permit modification application and are in due communication with the NCDEQ. Active Energy says company says it has ceased construction of these control devices. And if it is going to proactive investors, they sort of touch on it as well. Michael Rowan, CEO, Active Energy Group, comments, activity at the Lumberton has continued for many months and the plant is nearing completion. NCDEQ has already acknowledged that the additional control devices further reduce emissions, and we are confident in the permit modification, which has already been submitted to the NCDEQ prior to the notice being issued. Processed in a short order, the company is confident it will meet its existing sales commitments. That's all the different types of news. That's kind of brought it up to date. More of a kind of negative news, but look, there is the positives that I talked about in the other video, so don't take this video as a negative video. To me, it's red tape. Wee slight hiccup, if you want to call it that. It looks to be that they've put it right. They're confident in themselves, and I, as a shareholder, have to trust the process, have to trust the management, have to trust that these controls are going to make the difference and there's going to be no issues. And I believe that that will be the case. I'm not too concerned. I'm still looking at the main positives. Over-the-counter transactions now in the new USA, they've opened up to that market. The company is confident that it will meet existing sales commitments. Markets have went on a downturn for the last few months, so we have seen quite a drop from the highs of in and around nearly 1.958, as you can see there, around the 4th of January. So it has slowly went on a decline, which isn't great. Just to put a line across, we could definitely see that there was support resistance here. This broke it through, and we were in a good channel from sort of the start of January right through till nearly April. Unfortunately, yeah, we've broke down into this section now. So to me, if I was looking at this as a support level, I unfortunately would be seeing, unless we get some good news, I could see us fall down into this section. We're testing it right now for sure. This was the last big candlestick that we kind of got that got us in to this section, so it is possibly a great time to be buying this stock right now, especially if you're confident that the red tape's going to get the clear. If that gets confirmed and the order looks to go ahead, I see absolutely no reason why this will not shoot up beyond these support levels. So we are at a very interesting time. If I was thinking about opening a position for the first time, I would definitely consider putting a bit of money here, and I'm going to actually buy a bit more based on this here, because I think that we're below moving averages, as you can see, which is sort of the first time in a long while. Sort of only broke through there in May, so we're at a good pricing point. You can see here, guys, the volumes kind of went along. We've had a big sell-off here on the 9th of April. But you can see here, we've got a wee spike in volume again, selling off again, based on the bad news that we talked about. But all it would take is a good bit of news, and we'll get volume like this, and the thing will shift. So that's my thoughts on it, guys. Just need to take a time out, guys. Go down in the description below. You'll find links to free trade. Free trade, you get a free share of the £200. Whether you're starting your journey and you're thinking about commission free, I'd recommend them, especially because trading 212 aren't accepting anybody new now. You might as well try them all out. They've all got different features and benefits, and find the one that suits you. Also, if you're thinking about joining the crypto craze that's going on right now, you might as well get 10% off. Binance is one of the best that you could use platforms. It's what I use, as well as eToro, and the Binance gives you so much exposure to far more coins. Good cheap fees, and my tip would be to use the light version of it, because it's far more simple. The initial one can kind of put you off, but you'll get 10% off your first deposit, guys. And lastly, down below you'll get also links to my Reuters articles. They're a very good read, guys. I talked about it with Reuters months and months ago about meme stocks and how all that will affect the stock market, and I think recent times, especially like this Elon and his tweets, I think that has proven to be exactly what happens. So guys, that's Active Energy Group. We've got the good, we've got the bad. Personally speaking, I'm not too worried. I think this is all going to be fine. I'm still holding my chips in, and it's just got to be your own choice. Like I said, I've brought the information to you. It's all been good till now. This is a bit of a stumbling block, but this happens. Just to put it in perspective again, Tesla, the biggest stock in the world right now, guys, the hottest thing going, they have hiccups. Their new factory in Germany is supposedly being delayed. They've got issues with grants and stuff like this here. And there's a lot of stepping stages, especially now with lockdown. See, trying to get building control, permits through, all of that stuff. It's all being held up. It doesn't mean that it's game over. It's just the red tape, guys. Sometimes it's hard to get through. So I'm willing to sit it out. I have no problem with it. It's a long hold for me anyway. I don't get a lot from the management. They don't really answer any emails. I've tried to email them. You don't get any responses back. And I was just like a wee bit more of a better engagement between the shareholders, i.e. me, and the management team. I just feel like they deserve to give us a wee bit more. Look, it is what it is. I've brought up the concerns in my previous videos. Go in and check all that out. I've brought up all the good stuff from my previous videos. But to summarize, one final time, I'm holding long. I believe in the product. I believe in the space. It's very unique and has great legs potential. The deal with Warren Buffett and PACIFICORP really seals it for me, and all this other stuff I just think is red tape, and it should all iron out over the next couple of months. So guys, I'm still bullish on it. What's your thoughts? Please leave them below. I love to hear them. Get me on the Instagram, as I said, and until next time, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.
Yeah, coincidence. Yeah, coincidence. Something that happens by chance, I think not.